If you've planned your instructional design with the end goal in mind by creating clear, specific learning objectives for your students, the logical next step is to support student learning by creating staggered milestones and pathways to help them reach those objectives, content, activities, or assignments that lead to student success. Before you begin, it's helpful to ask yourself questions like, how and when will I build on prior knowledge or skills? Should this be a standalone activity or a 5-part project? Ultimately, the question for a creative educator is, how will sequencing or scaffolding help my students to reach their full potential? Here is an example of an effective sequence or scaffolded learning project from one of our favorite storytelling curricula, Pixar in a Box. By the end of the first unit, The Art of Storytelling, students are able to create a full video story reel. The curriculum walks students through 6 stages in this unit, each intentionally designed to grow in complexity, provide time for feedback and self-reflection, and build on previous work. When students create a character arc in Lesson 2, they do so by drawing on one of their 3 favorite films that they identified in Lesson 1. When students try creating visual language in Lesson 4, they utilize the story spine they created in previous lessons. And by the end of the unit, students have developed all the skills and components they need to create their own unique story reel, including brainstorming, iterating, giving and receiving feedback, and trying new approaches. Let's hear how creative educators sequence or scaffold learning and creative work in their classes.
When I teach creativity, I make sure that it's a routine part of the instruction and not an add-on or a special activity here or there. Because when it's a regular practice like other skills, then you start to think about how to build on it and scaffold in complexity and spiral and return to things. You get to say to your students, remember when we did that rapid brainstorm last week? Well, this week we're going to do that same thing, but then add on to it a design thinking activity to break those ideas into themes or categories. Or you can say this time, rather than an independent brainstorm, you're going to generate ideas collaboratively in a small group.
As far as scaffolding and chunking skills and competencies, I start by beginning with the end in mind, looking at the skills and competencies and concepts students need to know, and students need to be able to apply, analyze, synthesize, evaluate, and in turn use that knowledge to create something new according to a performance-based task. In a creative classroom, that would be the same. It's all about moving students through the levels of Bloom's taxonomy from knowledge through creation and understanding that they come to us with certain intelligences, ways of learning, visual, kinesthetic, auditory, verbal, linguistic, and that we need to build on those and provide ways for students to use technology to enhance how they communicate their learning.
And sometimes when you tell students to go, they freeze and they don't know where to start. And as educators, I've found that we need to balance that line of having these open-ended opportunities, but guiding facilitation in a way that students really have a clear sense of what high-level demonstrations of learning look and sound like. If I want students to learn how to be powerful digital communicators, and that's something that is important to me, I need to make sure that I spend the time showing students how to do this and giving them examples of exemplars throughout this process so they can have an understanding of how to do this in a deep and meaningful way.